Hi guys, and welcome to Guerilla Cricket's Google Hangout, where we preview the second Test match between Pakistan and England from Dubai, the 2015 series. Here to talk about all things Pakistan and England and the Middle East. We've got an all-star lineup of gorillas for you. At the bottom of your screen, you can see them. Say hello, James Sherwood.
Well, hello. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Of course, we've got in glorious HD, Nigel the Bear Walker. How's it going, bud?
I'm doing fine. I'm looking forward to this. Come on.
This is going to be fun. And of course, last but certainly not least, Mr. Nigel, the worst of cricket, Henderson.
Yes.
I think I threw you a little bit there, Hendo. Okay, guys, let's get straight into it. The first Test match, it felt like it was quite slow for the first 4 days. We saw a lot of runs being scored. We saw the spinners taking a lot of stick, but that was all transformed on the last day. On day 5, everything went up in the air after Adil Rashid produced one of the greatest debut statistics, returns of English Test spinning history. Anyway, I don't know what I just said there. Basically, Adil Rashid was awesome in the second innings. How did that happen? Where did that come from?
Well, I don't think he was bowling that badly in the first innings. I certainly think that his first couple of spells were quite realised that he had to get his line a lot tighter to the off stump. He did look a much more dangerous proposition. That said, the turn that was very, very slow. I guess it just opened up a little bit on the final day. There was a little bit more pace in the turn, and to be honest, one or two rather rash shots, weren't there, from Yunus and Misbah?
There certainly were. Now, Nigel the Bear Walker, you're a spinner yourself. Were you feeling sympathetic to the plight of Adil Rashid, or be honest now, were you one of the people that were thinking maybe he wasn't the right choice?
Well, I did think he was too slow through the air, but I think on the last day the wicket was very helpful to him towards the end. And still, honestly, I don't. He's going to go for runs. He is inconsistent in line and length, but he's proved that if the wicket's helping him, and it's going to later on in the series as well, that when there's something in the wicket for him, he can take out the tail, which is, we've had a massive problem as England. We've averaged 20 runs a wicket for the tail for the last couple of series or something similar to that. So we've not been very good at getting out of tail. He seems to do it. He got none for in the first innings, worst figures in a Test match for an England bowler or something, and then he got five for in the second. It was the first time an English leg spinner has done it since 1959. So
yes, extraordinary finger work as well, but mostly extraordinary figures there from Adil Rashid. It was incredible to come back from that. And just thinking about the Test match in general, James, right? I was thinking it reminded me of like when I go to Alton Towers and you queue up for a ride for hours and hours and hours, and then you get that 2-minute thrill, right, during the ride, and that kind of felt like day 5. And maybe the cherry on top would have been buying the photograph of the ride. When you buy the photograph when you go on a ride in the theme park, I would have bought it if we'd got a result. Did you feel like that? Do you kind of find are you following my analogy, James?
I am following your analogy. For me personally, I was in that queue at Alton Towers for those 4 days. I mean, it felt like longer, and then I had to go home. Because I was commentating for 2 of the first 4 days. I was following it closely for another 2 of the first 4 days. On the 5th day, I was entirely busy, and I didn't even know the results until about 4 hours after the game had finished. So I don't quite believe what everyone said happened. I think the whole thing's a total myth, and the whole thing ground to a draw with Pakistan in their second innings on 800 for 1. I don't think that second innings ever happened. I think it's all a lie.
Elaborate prank that's everybody's playing on you, basically.
Well, no, actually, it's the multiverse theory, isn't it? It's multi-universe theory, basically. Everything's happening in every other different universe. So obviously, that did just dribble out into an appalling draw in one of those alternative universes.
It did.
We could become the first ever commentary service to commentate on every different version of a Test match in the multiverse.
Yes. That would be magnificent, wouldn't it? We struggled to get a few people up to do that, I suppose, wouldn't we? Although there would be versions of us in those universes, wouldn't there? There'd be other versions of you, Sherwood, elsewhere.
Well, that's the odd thing. I'm the same in every one. I'm the exception that proves the rule.
In this universe, in the universe that I watched the match in anyway, one of the things that stood out from the first Test was an incredible comeback from Shoaib Malik. 5 years out of Test cricket, and he comes back and he scores a double hundred and a naught, but we won't talk about that. on his comeback to Test cricket. That was extraordinary. Now, you guys as English fans, right? I mean, I'm guessing you don't follow Pakistan cricket as closely as I do. Did you see that coming, Hendo?
Oh, not at all. I mean, I was in one way surprised that he actually got into the team. I mean, I think it was possibly fit. I mean, didn't Azhar Ali have a problem? He went on a pilgrimage and hurt his foot or something like that.
Right, Azhar Ali.
I would have thought.
That's why Shoaib Malik came into the squad.
Yeah, I would have thought. I would have thought Azhar Ali would have got the vote. I suppose in the end they brought him in for a little bit of bowling as well. Although Azhar Ali has bowled as well. So I mean, if you took it into an England perspective and you saw, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like Ravi Bopara coming back now after 5 years and scoring a big double century, well, that would be totally beyond belief. So I imagine from a Pakistan viewpoint, it was as amazing as that.
It certainly was, and obviously it wasn't just Pakistani scoring a ton of runs. There was also Alistair Cook. Now, Nige, the Bear Walker. What did you make of the Alistair Cook innings? He never really seemed troubled when he was batting, did he?
No, he did really well. He got dropped on 140 or didn't he, out in the deep. It wasn't an easy catch, but he looked. This is it. His concentration was amazing. You know, he's gone for 4 minutes short of 14 hours, which, as we were told, was longer than the entire second test in the summer, or the test where we bowled him out for 60. Where was that? Nottingham, Trent Bridge. And it was an amazing innings. He offered 2 chances in the entire thing. Shoaib offered 1, didn't he? He should have been out on 40. An amazing act. And I think his innings is better than Shoaib's for the fact that England were already behind the 8 ball. You know, he didn't have to cut. It wasn't the first innings. He wasn't trying to set a score. He was trying to keep us in the match. And actually, to get us in the match and ahead of Pakistan so the last day happened was quite an amazing feat, I think.
It was, and that's why they voted Alistair Cook man of the match for the match, even though Shoaib Malik also had 5 wickets, but never mind. So, James, what stands out the most for you from that first Test match? And what is it? What's pleasing about it going into the second Test, as from an England perspective?
Well, I think that what it's done for England. I don't take the viewpoint that England are now favourites to win this series. I heard Dominic Cork saying that the other night. I do think it's given England the belief that they can compete in the UAE. And if you know someone like Cook is up the top there and can grind out these innings, then these other players can play around him. I think it's just given England a great sense of belief. I mean, things may change when Yasir Shah gets hold of the ball, and they're saying it's going to turn more at Dubai. But it's really opened the series up into a very exciting one, I would say.
It looks like a very kind of yin and yang. Or certainly the first test was that each player, you don't know what's going to happen to them. You know, you might score a 200 in one innings, you'll get a duck in the other. You might get a 5 for one innings, you'll get nothing. You get carted for 100 and lots in the other one. And Alistair Cook got double 100 in one innings, but he was demoted to 6, 7 in the other one. So you know, no one holds on to their form for more than a few seconds in this series. There's going to be no momentum whatsoever. It's going to be unpredictable every step of the way. As long as you get 4 days of tedium at the beginning of each test, of course, that's the only necessary for that to happen.
I mean, the great thing is that it's actual proper Test cricket. I mean, the wickets are such that they do offer the batsman a chance to score runs in the first innings, and they're pretty placid, it seems, for the first few days. I mean, it might change and they might turn, and Yasir Shah might kill us, but you never know. But other than that, you know, the fact that the games are going to go 5 days, there's a whole... you get these periods of drawn-out boredom and nothing really happens, and then suddenly something very exciting happens. But it goes 5 days, which is a slow build-up to a grand finale. It's good fun.
And it means when you get the excitement, you feel you've earned it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, personally, I didn't see any of the exciting bits, so I wouldn't know. But I imagine that is how.
And also, it gives us a chance to talk about crisps. I mean, and during the summer we had no opportunity to open up about crisps at all. But this time, you know, when you know it's going to go 5 days, you know that at some point you're going to get a 2-hour session where you really can get your teeth into crisps.
I think we can all agree we enjoy getting our teeth into crisps, right? But here's the thing: that Pakistan have got a couple of selection conundrums themselves now, because it's not often that a player who scores a double 100 ends up moving position the following test, but he might have to, because Azhar Ali's got to come back in that side somewhere. Also, Yasir Shah's going to, well, if he's fit, he's going to come back in. If not, then you might see a debut for Bilal Asif. What are Pakistan going to do?
Well, I thought Ali has pulled out because of his something to do with the illness of his mother-in-law or something along those lines.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, so I think that means Shoaib will, stay where he was, won't it? Um,
Yeah, I guess
I'm
so.
guessing.
I guess so. And then one of the bowlers is going to have to sit it out though for sure because either Yasir Shah is going to play or Bilal Asif's going to play. So who's going to take the bullet? I mean, you guys saw all three of Pakistan's seamers. Who you?
Well, it's got to be. It's got to be between Imran and Rahat. Wahab Riaz bowled really, really well. He's clearly the fastest. Got the most reverse swing of anybody in the match, and was bowling very aggressively on in the afternoon of the fourth day. Out of the two, left arm is probably more useful against England. There's a propensity of right-handers in the side. I'd probably therefore drop Imran Khan. Although I love Imran Khan's jingle. So having said that, I like Rahat Ali's jingle. In fact, I love them all. So it's difficult for me. But if I was looking at it from the outside, I'd say Imran Khan would be the man to lose out for Yasir Shah if he's going to be fit.
And there should definitely be more teams in international cricket who make their selections based on their guerrilla cricket jingles.
Absolutely.
Without
I think Rahat will be the man to miss out. I don't think you necessarily need two left-arm quicks. I thought Imran Khan actually bowled very well. He nibbled the ball about when other people weren't really, and he ended up with pretty decent figures. I just think he's maybe our left-handers a little bit. He does get the ball to nip off the seam away from the left-hander, and I think that makes him a pretty useful man to go to. He's also very what's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't give a lot away, and I think just the variation of the left arm or the right arm or the leg spinner, the other spinner, I think that variety would be something that Pakistan would want to look to, I think.
Excellent, that's brilliant. Now let's get straight into the second test, guys. Or actually, let's talk about England. I suppose from England, there's no real obvious changes to make. We won't see anything different in the England lineup, will we?
Don't think so. I think it'll stay the same. In fact, no, I can't see. They got out of that on the right side of a draw. So nearly won it. The only opportunity to change someone now you've got settled. I mean, the only thing, to be fair, you could switch around a batting order by putting Momin down at 5, not opening with him, and choosing someone else at a batting order. It would still give you 4 seamers, 2 spinners, and you've got the opportunity to do that. But I don't think they will.
Fantastic. Okay, well, let's assuming it stays the same. How do we see the next test going? Are you more optimistic about it, considering at the beginning of the series? I mean, we could. I'll put my hand up and say I predicted Pakistan would win 3-0, so I'm out of it already. What did you guys predict? Remind me.
I went 1-1.
I went for 1-0, and I'll stick by that. But I still think that, as I said earlier, that England have now got a sense of belief that they possibly didn't have that 12 series. I mean, there was this thought that we would just be whittled away again by Yasir Shah and whoever was the other spinner or the main other spinner. But I think we've shown that we can compete in these conditions. That we know that we don't have to go out and be all out attacking in the same way that Australia tried to be to their detriment last year. I think it'll just become a very even series, and I'm really looking forward to it, I must say.
I wasn't involved in the original predictions conversation, so I can cheat and say 0-0.
0-0.
Yeah.
Boring bastard.
You not only missed the original predictions, you also missed the day 5. So in his parallel universe, it probably will be 0-0. Here's the thing, guys. Next test, it's in Dubai. It's a little bit of a different wicket. It's still quite slow. Do we think? I mean, I suppose it will. Almost, you've got to imagine the spinners will get more help up front in Dubai just because of the nature of the wicket. But will we get a result?
No.
I hope so. Well, I'm going 1-1, so yeah, they better be.
Okay, so here's the thing. There was a lot of there was a huge hoo-ha amongst English cricket press mainly, right? I've got to say about the last test and the way that it ended with theoretically 9 overs to spare. And now because this one massive result has happened, they're talking about changing the colour of the ball in Test cricket going forward, so they would never have to deal with such a situation ever again. I thought it was a bit of an overreaction personally. How did you guys feel about this? All this kind of furore responding to it? Because I heard at least 3 major news outlets talking about it.
Well, we were on air. We were talking about this. We just, I mean, we knew that basically there was going to be lots of field changing. There was going to be lots of faffling about. I don't think it was necessary time wasting, as Gary kept pointing out on air. Shoaib was back at his mark. It was other people who were moving the field. It wasn't his choice. The ball was going to the boundary at times. There were long runs out to the outfield. We knew the time was going to be slowed down, and we also knew that the sun was going to go down at 20 to 6 English time, and they were going to be called off the field. The problem is in the Middle East, and when you get closer to the equator, the sun drops quickly. There is no options. You can't string it out. You know that is going to be your time cut-off, and therefore you have to expect that. And I think they did expect it, and I think they tried to go for it, and they fell short. And everyone was saying that Pakistan would be more upset, but I think England would be more upset because they missed out on a chance, and a good chance. And it just wasn't enough time. If they had 10 minutes longer, they'd have probably done it. 2 overs more, they'd have probably done it.
Or been all out. I feel like it's important to point out.
They wouldn't have been all out, Atif.
Shoaib Malik was on fire.
Clutching at straws, my friend. Clutching at straws.
Man of the Match award so badly. I'm telling you, he would have gone for it. Okay, fair enough. Okay, guys, let's wrap this up. But before we wrap it up, I think everybody needs a definitive final answer on this because we talked about it during the first Test match a lot. So I want a final answer, the last answer on this. Your favorite crisp of all time, James.
Am I allowed wheat crunches, or do they need to be potato?
Yes. No, wheat crunches is good.
Okay, yeah, wheat crunches. I like a wheat crunchy, spicy tomato, possibly flavour.
Nige?
So I have a pickled onion, and I'm going to go beef Monster Munch.
And Hendo?
Well, as I said, I think on air last week, I'm a big lover of wheat crunchies, especially the bacon ones. But I think overall, going back over my many years of crisp eating and tasting, I would have to say salt and vinegar Ringos.
Salt and vinegar Ringos. Yeah. That's a pretty good shout. Mine, I know on air I said Walker's Squares because they're more commonly available. My all-time favorite are definitely Bugles. Which is also a subversive shout-out for Andy Zaltzman. So there you go. So, guys, any final words before we sign off?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that skips are crap.
Any bacon flavour crisps always repeat on you.
Yeah, they do. But they're good still.
Okay, great stuff, guys. Thanks for this today. Remember, everybody, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to make sure you get up to date on all the videos that we do, including Guerilla portraits. If you haven't already, check out Katie's fantastic portrait of Shoaib Malik. Try and get Shoaib to see it. We really want Shoaib to see it. We think he's really going to like it. And if he doesn't, that'll be fun to hear about as well. Also, Gorilla's on there. We've also got Today at Guerilla Cricket, or Today on Guerilla Cricket, I beg your pardon. So much content coming out. Also, our Kickstarter campaign is nearly there. You want to be a part of it. There's some amazing bats, great T-shirts, great baseball caps, all stuff you want to get a hold of, I promise you. We'll be back on the air for the second Test match, day one, on the dot, hopefully, for day one, which is on Thursday morning. Remember, the clocks go back this weekend, so make sure, if you're in the UK, you sort that out. And make sure you comment below this video so we know what you thought about it. Make sure you share it with everybody you know who loves Pakistani and English cricket. And we'd love to hear more. But from everybody here, it's bye-bye.
Bye.